We're actually talking about kind of a smorgasbord of dating. And Janice, the host of X Files podcast, is one of my besties, and she is on with me today. We're going to talk all about different stuff to help you with your dating. So maybe you're having a hard time and you need some help, or maybe you're just starting out. And we actually have a guest today that's going to pop on with us in a little bit. She is not been dating since her divorce, and she's a little leery of what to do. So we're gonna talk to her for a little bit, which should be fun.
This is my bread and butter. You know, I
So
work with. Go ahead.
no, this is your bread and butter. This is
Yes,
what
because
you
I
do.
work with people recovering from breakups and a lot of people who are post-divorce and who are super nervous about dating again, as you would naturally be. So I'm excited to talk to Jen. I didn't recognize her when she came in here. I go, who are you?
I grabbed Jen at the last minute. I sent her a message today and I was like, you know what? I wanted to be able to have people ask questions. And a lot of our guests, or not our guests, I'm sorry, our listeners who are watching us live on either Facebook or YouTube can actually ask us questions. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a real person, on and just say, hey, this is my thoughts, and I need help with this. And I thought between the two of us, we might be able to help her. So
1,000%. Something that we do for X Files sometimes is actually do like live evaluations of people's profiles. So maybe she'll be willing and brave to let us help her with that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't think she's online yet. And my hope is to encourage her to get online.
Yes,
she's
maybe
probably
we can
in
do
the
that live.
going, no. Well, let's do it. So it's funny is that I've been online dating for quite some time. I was a serial dater. My daughters used to call me a playa, and they would say it just like that, playa. It's just that I wasn't finding my person, and now I have met this person that's really amazing, who I'm enjoying getting to know. I'm not dating as much, but dating from an online situation to dating somebody in real life kind of goes hand in hand. Some of the things that we talk about really applies to when you are first dating a person. Doesn't matter where you meet them. Though I did not meet Sean online for a dating site. I met him on Clubhouse, actually.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's lots of ways to meet people online. I mean, you did technically.
Yeah,
but it wasn't you weren't intentionally on Clubhouse to meet someone romantically.
Right. No, not at all. It was more for business. And that's actually how it started, was that way. And we became friends, and then really started to like each other, which was great. So, we are going to talk here in a minute about online dating. And finding, dates on websites. But I did want to kind of give some advice on how to find people outside of that. So if they don't want to, I have a couple suggestions, and I know you probably do too, Janice. I think that, okay, so here's my game plan for people, women. Here's a game plan for women.
I got a pen and paper. I'm ready.
I think it's for men too. I don't know why I just said women. I think it's for all people. So imagine this. Sit back and think, okay, this is the type of person I want. I want this person to be this way or that way, or these are the things I want to find in a person. And think about, where are those single men hanging out? Well, maybe they're not on dating sites. Maybe you don't want to meet them at bars and clubs. So maybe you do. That's fine. So maybe it's figuring out what bars and clubs in your area or surrounding areas that hot young guys would be going to. And that would be sports bars, places where you could play pool or darts. Guys are hanging out that way. Now, remember, you have to be able to step through a crowd of guys to get to one, because he may be there with buddies. Okay. And same with a woman. If a guy is there and he's thinking he wants to meet a single girl, he's got to be brave enough to go through the women to get to the one he wants. And a lot of them are intimidated by that. So it's about not being intimidated, I think. What do you think, Janice?
Yeah, so I meet most of the people who I date in person, and And I will say I also go lots of places either by myself or with maybe just one or two friends.
Mhm.
And I know I still get approached if I'm by myself or with friends, probably a little more if I'm with just one friend or myself.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
know, the secret to my success is if I'm interested in someone or could potentially be interested in someone, if you just look them in the eye and smile and make sure that, you're approachable,
Exactly.
I think you'll have success.
Well, if you're gonna not go to the bar
Mhm.
and you're not gonna go online dating, um, where do you look? Well, my thoughts have always been, think about this, where are single guys going? They are maybe going hiking, maybe they're into water sports, maybe they are golfing. So m- I've always been the one to say, go learn to golf and go golfing.
Mhm.
Um, and then, or if you just suck at golfing, go in a cute golfing outfit and go to the club at the golf course.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. And I will say, as someone who's very comfortable going out, going to a restaurant and sitting at the actual bar of a restaurant
Mhm.
is a place where you will meet mostly singles. You might be surprised how many people actually go and will sit and have dinner at the bar top. And it's
Yeah.
very comfortable. Lots of people are there alone, and lots of people will strike up a conversation with you. There might be something on TV, or you might just naturally start talking about what you've ordered. And I've
Mhm.
met probably the majority of the people I end up going out with this way. Not all, but
Right.
just because we happened to be there and we're just hanging out and I smiled and let them know it was okay to talk to me. And,
Yeah.
we exchange info.
That's great. You know, um, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, so my point is, it doesn't have to be a bar or a club. You can
Oh,
still
I
go to
remember.
quite a nice place and still sit alone, and other people will also be sitting alone. You have to be
Do you
comfortable doing that,
remember?
but
Yeah. Yeah, you do. But do you remember, and I have in the past have not. But do you remember that really bad date I told you about a few months ago where the guy shit his pants and left
do I
me at the bar?
remember? Of course.
Well, let's go back to that for a second.
That's burned in my memory.
Yeah, it's burned in my.
You can't unhear a story like that.
No, you can't unlive a story like that either. So I'm sitting at a place called BJ's in Burbank, and I'm waiting for this tool to show up. And I must have been hit on by 4 different guys sitting that I was sitting at, because I was sitting at the bar,
Yeah, I
and
know.
I
That's what
had
I'm saying.
never experienced that before because I'd never done it. And if I had not been waiting for a date, I could have had any. Hey, Steve. So we have a listener today. Steve Smith is the father of one of my very first loves. His son and I dated when I was like 18 or 19, and I'm still very close to the family. Hi, Steve. Thanks for coming and listening to my crazy, wacky show. Um, but I love all the support from all the people that love me. So yeah, so it's about going out of your comfort zone, I think. And I think that's something you're constantly telling me is to get out of my comfort zone. So I do believe people need to take the bull by the horn and go. Now, I actually went to the movies one time by myself, more than once, but this one time I went by myself. And, that's a new thing for me too. I never used to do that up until about a few years ago. I used to be terrified to go to the movies by myself.
Mhm.
And this guy sat, 2 or 3 seats away from me. And we just chatted. And it wasn't something romantic at all,
Mhm.
but there's opportunities to meet people like almost anywhere.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is putting yourself out there and being comfortable. I mean,
Mhm.
confidence really is the sexiest quality, and
Yeah.
no one's
I do
going to
too.
approach you if you're not, sitting there comfortably on your own. But I can assure you that they absolutely will if you're just sitting there enjoying yourself. People are curious
Mhm.
about, especially a woman with that level of, confidence. It makes you super magnetic. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that happened to you, and honestly, that's kind of my story as well. I mean, and then I have to pick and choose like who I do and do not want to talk to, because everyone will, will try and approach you, right? Or flirt
Yeah.
with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I used to be afraid of that, and I've gotten over that fear over the
Mm-hmm.
last 3 or 4 years, and that has really opened the doors for me. Now, I do want to go to talking about if you decide to go on a website for dating. And I think the most important thing to start, I'd like to kind of start at the beginning and then work our way through a little bit before
Let's
we
do
bring
it.
Jen on. And one of the most important things I think is researching the websites and seeing which ones are the best.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't think the paying sites are any better than the non-paying sites, because if you're in a place like Los Angeles, and I don't know about Denver, this is the thing. All the guys that are on the paying sites are also on the non-paying sites.
Okay.
It's the same ones.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. I see, because I used to pay years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the same guys were on. So it was useless to pay because they always spoke to me on the non-paying ones and didn't speak to me on the paying ones. It was
Okay,
bizarre.
interesting. But you
Yeah,
don't
it
get
was
more
really weird.
features with the paid ones that you think are valuable?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think it's valuable.
As a
No.
coach, I have to say, I haven't heard very many people say that they had just, crazy success on the paid sites that they hadn't before. So you're probably right.
No. Yeah. And it's like, for me, it's like, don't waste your money. If you want to see who's looking at you, waste your money. And it would be a waste because, quite frankly, people who are looking at you are not necessarily messaging you. So why do you want to see who's looked at you?
Mm-hmm.
And if they're interested, they're going to message you. So it's pointless.
Okay.
I mean, do you see my logic?
Yes. Yeah. I'd probably agree.
Um,
Also, the point is the numbers, and some of the big sites, they're going to have, millions of people on them anyway.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Now, okay, step 1, research the websites, see which ones you want to be on. There's plenty of them. Okay, Cupid, Plenty of Fish, Hinge, Bumble,
But there's lots of niche
Tinder.
ones as well, which I think people are starting to gravitate toward a lot
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was
what's
on
great,
something. Go ahead.
no. Which one were you on?
I was on Filled for a little while.
Filled.
Yep.
Interesting.
And so that's
There
for
are a
some
lot of new sites.
alternative lifestyles, poly-friendly, a little bit more adventurous in some
Mm-hmm.
ways, people who might be more open. And so that you can know that everybody on it is more open in some way, primarily open to polyamory. And so I didn't really
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Well, I think that there are a lot of different websites that you can look into to see what fits your niche. Oh, and like Steve said, say in St. George, they have LDS singles, which it's funny, Stephen. Janice and I are both former LDS, and
Yeah.
so we can relate. And I think that no matter who and what you are, whether you have a religious affiliation or you have a certain kind of dating style, anything could be for you. And there are websites out there for that. So it's about research, I think.
Very much so.
Moving to the next thing, I think is two of the most important things. One is great pictures. 2 is a great profile. So starting with pictures, I'm going to say my advice, and then I'd love to hear yours, Janice.
Okay.
Mine is, do not put pictures of you and anybody else in the picture with you. I guarantee, just like when I've been online dating, is when I look at the picture and the guy next to him is hotter than he is, that's a problem. It's next for me. So with that being said, you don't want to put your kids in the pictures. You don't want to put your friends in the pictures, and you don't want a bunch of selfies in front of the bathroom mirror. It's like everybody's got a timer on their phone. Everybody's got a ring light now. Put the damn thing on your tripod or prop it up against a bookshelf and take a freaking timed picture. I mean, it's not that difficult. And
I
then
think
just
you
have
might be
people take pictures of
surprised.
you out and about.
You might be surprised, though, how many people don't have ring lights and tripods like we do. But you can always ask your friend to take a picture. I think men especially have wedding photos and photos with the gym selfie or the bathroom selfie or pictures with fish. or pictures with family because they don't go to the effort of asking someone to take your photo, because that's not really something that
Yeah.
guys do as much. And so that's why you see these photos,
Yeah.
because it's a photo that someone else is already taking. But you got to put in the effort. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. And I apologize. There's a lag, and I don't know if it's me or you, Janice, but forgive us. There is a lag today. The thing about the photos is that I like the ones that they are doing something. It doesn't matter. Do something. Don't just sit there with your stupid gym weights and take a picture. I mean, if you're at the gym 24/7, why are you dating anyway? So for me, it's about doing something. Maybe you're at the movies, or maybe you're kayaking, or you're going for a hike, or you're walking your dog. That's great. I think pictures are really, really important. No more blurry. And if you don't have hair, don't wear a hat. Take the damn hat off. If you know what, if you're embarrassed, do something about it, but don't cover it up because we want to see. A lot of women like men without hair, so it's great.
Yeah.
There's something for everybody. Don't hide behind, and don't try to be something you aren't. Try to be who you really are, because in the end, that facade can only last for so long. I always say the crazy can only hold off the crazy for so long. And then do you have any other suggestions for photos?
Yes, I would definitely say use a variety, but to leave out the photos that where you are really off in the distance. I know a lot of people like to show off their travel, but if you're going to do that, still only do it if you can really see your face. Don't do any, way off in the distance horizon pictures. There's no point. Everybody likes to travel. We want to see what you look like. It doesn't make you stand out enough to not be in the photo. I think it's okay to not be doing an activity in every photo, but I think that in some of them you should. And then likewise to the hat, if you're going to do a sunglasses picture, make sure it's just one. Mix it up a bit. Same with a black and white. Yeah. Apparently black and white photos get more clicks, but make sure that it's just one.
Right. Now, one thing that I do have to say is don't be afraid of who you are. If you have a little extra weight or a lot more extra weight, by God, show it.
Yeah.
Take body pictures, show your body, because you know what? Don't fool somebody who doesn't want to be fooled. There are plenty of people out there who love a full-figured woman or a hunky, hefty guy. I mean, it's sexy. A lot of people have a lot of different preferences. And I think that really showing who you are and not being ashamed of it and being proud of it is really, really important.
Well, I mean, it's not just about getting someone to message you. It's about getting to the first date, and then, more importantly, getting to the second date. And people don't like to be deceived. And, I also speak to people about this every day, and people care a lot more about dating someone who looks after themselves and cares for themselves, and more than the actual weight or being bald or how tall you are. I assure everyone listening.
Yeah. I want to bring on Jen soon, so I kind of want to talk about profiles for a second.
Okay.
Don't do an online dating profile without a fucking profile. Without
bio, you mean?
Something. Bio, thank you. If you're doing this without a bio, I'm going to tell you, most women are going to just sweep right on by. And it doesn't have to be long. Say something about what kind of, I don't know, person you are, whether you have integrity or you're trustworthy or you like to be on time or you don't like people who aren't on time. Say it.
Can I? So I have a little method for this.
Oh yeah, please. I'd love to hear this.
And I'm happy to read mine, which I did last night in our clubhouse. So first you want to lead with something that's unique about you or quirky about you. And then you like to say something positive about what you might like to do on a date or positive about who you might like to connect with. And then it's good to say something positive about what you're looking for.
Yep, absolutely. So when I was online dating, my profile was like, I'm a small town country girl who lives in the city, can still dirty and ride the bikes and the horses, but get into the little black dress for a night out on the town, looking for a real chivalrous, I can't say the word, chivalrous guy who is romantic and a gentleman who respects a woman enough to open the door for her.
Okay.
And I'd say things like, I'm down for anything. Let's go hiking. Let's go biking. Let's go for a picnic in the park. It doesn't matter. Don't have to spend a lot of money, just have to spend quality time. So that was kind of mine. I mean, there's a few other things. Your profile does not want to be a mile long. It doesn't need to be a
Definitely.
mile long because people get bored, and maybe the heart of what you're talking about is halfway through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, make it short, make it sweet, but make it important. The really important things for you.
Yep. And don't talk about what you don't want. Talk about
Ex-
what you do want. Positive, positive, positive. I mean,
yes,
there are
absolutely.
stats that show that it is the affirming, the positive bios that get people
Yeah.
to swipe. You might think that you're doing yourself a favor and that you're doing everyone a favor by making sure people know what your non-negotiables are, but it doesn't make
Right.
people feel good.
Right. Absolutely. And maybe one of your non-negotiables is something that somebody doesn't think that they have, and they may not, but they might be turned off by your non-negotiable. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's think about it.
Okay.
Maybe your non-negotiable is someone that is under 5'10". So maybe someone is actually 5'10", and they're like, you know what? She judges by the height, and they're like, yeah, whatever.
Totally. I
You know,
completely agree.
yeah. I mean, think about that. I mean, I can't think of anything else at the moment, but something simple like that. Or maybe you're like, oh, I only want this kind of guy. And
Mhm.
maybe that guy doesn't think he is, but he is.
Yep.
And, but he's annoyed or put off by something that you're saying.
But I would say from my experience to not be too specific about your specifics about the person.
Yeah, I
What I'm
agree.
saying is your specifics about what type of relationship or why you are on the app, what you're hoping to get out of it. For instance, mine says or said, looking for an intelligent company without too many strings attached for now. Whereas someone else might say, looking for my soulmate or looking for a serious connection rather than looking for someone this tall who is, super liberal and is going to, take me hiking or, doesn't like to go to sports bars or likes to go to sports bars. I'm like, leave that to the DMs.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And one last thing before we bring Jen on, when you start messaging, it's okay for women to reach out first. It is okay. A lot of men actually wait for women to reach out first. But when you have a conversation, this goes for men and women. Don't start with the, hey, how are you? Or hi there. That's all BS. Read the profile and say something about the profile.
Yes.
Say, I saw that you love to hike in the Himalayas. I've always wanted to go there. Or I've never traveled to Paris and I see you are standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. How was it?
Perfect.
Ask an open-ended question, not yes or no. Maybe someone's there with their dog and you said, oh my God, I love huskies. Your husky's adorable. Do you still have him or her? Things like that. You can't just say, hi, how are you? And expect an intelligent conversation to ensue from there.
I would definitely encourage anybody who's on an app to not respond to any message that is, hey. I would only respond to people who commented on my bio, and it was amazing. And going back to the dog thing really quick, don't put a picture of a dog if it ain't your dog.
Yes. No, that's true. I agree with that.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, they do. There were times that a profile was really short or didn't really have anything in it. And I was really intrigued, though, by the pictures. And I would say, you look like a really interesting guy. Too bad you didn't say anything about yourself. I would like to know. I would like to see if you are this interesting guy in person. And then, something like that. And then they would respond, oh, yeah, I'm brand new. I didn't know what to say in my profile. And I'd say, If you're this great guy, don't put anything in your profile because you never know. You might be perfect for me.
I would encourage people to push
I'm
yourself a
just kidding.
little bit. Get in touch with one of us. I am a date coach. I help people
Yeah.
specifically with these things. If you don't know what to
Yeah.
write, seriously get in touch with me. I will sit
Yeah.
down with you for an hour and help you write it.
Absolutely. So let's bring on Jennifer. Jennifer is someone that we know through Clubhouse. She is divorced and she's contemplating dating, and she's got some dating questions for us. So we'd love to talk to Jennifer.
It's so
DJ,
fun to have one of our followers here.
I know,
Hello,
it's so fun.
gorgeous.
Hi, Jen. Oh my God, isn't she pretty?
Yes.
Thank you.
It was jarring though to see her live because
I
we're always
know,
on
'cause we only
Clubhouse, so I see her cute picture and her voice.
You
But
get
it
a little
really
picture
threw
that
me
big.
for a loop when I saw her on the video.
I know. So Jen, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you. I wanted to have somebody come on today and ask some dating questions. And what's great about Jen is that you really haven't started dating yet, have you? Since you're divorced, tell
No,
us
I have
about
not.
your situation. How long have you been divorced?
Only since April of this year,
Oh,
but I was separated for
fresh.
3 to 4 years. It was a very long, I mean,
Oh,
COVID, let's just be real. So
yeah.
it was just a long process. But we have been not living in the same place for quite a while. And I didn't date
Okay.
through any of
So
that.
you've been healing. Yeah. So
Yes.
you've been
Yeah, I didn't
healing
want
and
to.
finding you, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I
Lots of
love that.
personal development stuff for about 5 years, and I'm an intelligent lady, and so I knew I didn't want to bring any baggage into another relationship, and I wanted to get
We
to really
approve.
happy me, and I'm there. So I feel like, ooh, I'm so close, but
Yes.
I'm nervous.
That's okay. It's okay to be nervous, but you know what? You never know. The most incredible person is out there waiting for you, and all they're waiting for is you to make that first step.
I can
Right?
see that. Yep,
But
I
is
can
this
see
Okay.
it.
something that do you have desire for connection? I mean, like what is your, kind of like motivation for, wanting to get back out there, would you say?
Absolutely. So instead of looking at, having been married for 30 years and that being a loss, I'm actually really excited about the next 30 years because I've learned so
Mm,
much, especially about myself. I've grown so much that I'm very excited about what a really healthy relationship will feel like.
it's wonderful. I can say it's wonderful. So tell us, Jen, what kind of questions do you think are foremost in your mind that you would love to kind of feel through and get some advice on?
Well, I may have a incorrect opinion about something, and I mentioned that to you over text. So while I was going through all of this, being separated and doing all that learning, I was also doing a lot of listening. And
Mm,
so, listening to people who were dating, going on places like Clubhouse and getting information about people who were dating. And I see a lot of, what do I want to call it? Difference in expectations between men and women. And maybe I'm wrong about this, but it seems like men typically around my age are looking for women that are considerably younger, which surprises me. And I'm
yeah.
not really interested in a 70-year-old plus man because I just don't think that's going to jive with what I want to do. Um, Although I could be surprised, I certainly wouldn't cross it off the list. But you see what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do. I do. I do see what you're saying, but I do have to say that I've had the opposite. Most
Okay.
of the men that approach me a lot younger than me, a lot.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't mind telling my age. It doesn't bother me. I'm 54,
me
and
too.
yeah, yay! And you're gorgeous
You
too, by
guys
the
are
way.
rocking
Thank
it.
you.
Like, seriously?
So the thing is that I get anywhere from 20s, early 20s to late 40s, and that's
Oh,
you know For a while, I had fun with the 20s and the 30s, and I was dating in the 40s for a long time. And it's really about setting your parameter if you're going to go online, setting your parameter for the age range that you want to consider. So that would be, say, I don't know, 40 to 55, or 45 to 55, whatever your age range is, set your parameters for that. And the men who are interested in the same age range as them will also find you. There are men, of course, who've come out of divorce and who want to date younger women, and that's fine. I've dated younger men my whole life. And my boyfriend Sean, he's younger than me. I love that. Uh, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah, don't be afraid of going outside of the box for a little bit. Figure it out. Date someone who's 60, date someone who's 30, date somebody who's 40. You know what? It's about experimenting and really practice. Practice makes perfect. It's finding that person. And there are going to be people out there who want only a specific age range, but that's not going to affect you if you've set your parameters for that. Now, if you're going out willy-nilly, don't go to a club that's only going to be 20s and 30s, and don't go to a country club that's only going to be men in their 50s, 70s. You're going to want to go places that are going to have men your age or the age range that you want. You may want to date a 36-year-old man. Go for it. They're awesome.
Yeah. So what I'll say is Christine is absolutely right. And the age thing is one of the really good things about online dating, is because the filters are, so effective. So I would say you won't have any problem whatsoever. From my experience, I also get approached by much younger men still. I prefer more in like 45 to 55. Even though I'm younger than that. And I've dated quite a few men in their 50s who not only tell me I'm the youngest woman they've ever dated, but that they very, very much prefer to date women in between also 45 and 55 because they just feel like they relate to them so much better. I've had men your guys' age say that they would never consider, going that much younger because they just don't think that they could relate to the person. So I think that that's a myth. I get asked this all the time, and I see it here and there. Of course, I also know women who only want to go younger. But typically, no. I would put that out of your head completely.
Yeah, okay. I would too, because quite frankly, most of the men that I've ever talked to have always said they don't like to go younger anymore because the younger women are, and I'm not meaning this badly about anybody, but I'm quoting that they're a little more materialistic. They don't really know where they're going. They're too youthful. It's too much. They want to have kids. The men no longer want to have children. So men are starting to date women who are past the age of wanting to have kids, date women who have their shit together, and they don't have to babysit or go to the clubs to dance with them all the time because that's what their girlfriends want to do. So I think that actually that is really changing. And if people are still bitching about that, it's because they're looking in the wrong place and they're looking for the wrong men.
And it's a mindset thing that I think can really hold women back. Some women I think want to convince themselves of this, and you really shoot yourself in the foot. I mean, I can't think of any worse energy to take into dating other than, no guy's gonna think I'm young enough. I mean, just do whatever you can to toss that out the window. I think you're gonna have great luck, actually.
You are a fine ass woman. You are beautiful.
Yeah,
thank you. Any guy out there looking at you is going to be lucky to have you, and you just stay confident and secure. And it doesn't matter. You're going to gravitate toward the right man's going to gravitate to you. So,
well, I don't think I'm lacking in confidence for that part of myself. And when I talk with my closest friends and I say, I've been a matchmaker my whole life. I've got like 5 couples under my belt that got married and stayed married. So I said, all right, friends, now it's up to you. You know the quality of what I am, and it's up to you to bring somebody to the table. And they're all like, oh my God, that's a task.
But it's a good strategy. I wouldn't do it because I don't like the shit where I eat, but it's a good strategy because if you have a friend in common, then you're going. It's a it's built-in background check and built-in
Yeah.
referrals, and so I do think it's a good way to go about it for sure.
And
So I
if
have
you
a
don't
really
want to
important
do,
question for you.
yeah, go for it.
So I don't know. I think at least one of you has kids. I don't know if both of you have children.
I do.
Okay. So my children are young adult children and they're fabulous. But of course, this is a new topic for me, and I'm curious, what is the recommendation for starting that dialogue with their kids? Because I'm a big communicator, and I don't want to just throw them walk in town and see me with somebody, or I want to have that conversation with them ahead of time, but I'm just not sure how open I need to be about it, or if you have advice, I'd take it.
I do. I think being open is incredibly important. I don't think that you should not tell them that you're interested in looking for someone to date or to start dating, because what if you found somebody and then you're going to have to backtrack and go, oh crap, I didn't even tell him I was dating. I think it's important. Just I started out more nonchalantly, saying things like, I've been thinking about going online to date, or I've been talking to a matchmaker, and I was thinking maybe I want to start getting out there and stop being this fuddy-duddy old woman and have some fun. And my kids were really receptive, and they were like, oh yeah, have fun, mom, that's great. And I just kept it casual, and I just made it part of conversation. And then as I really started getting more serious about it, then I'd say things like, oh yeah, I've met some really cool people, I've really enjoyed the dating, hopefully I find my person. How do y'all feel about me finding somebody? Are you open to it? Are you not? I mean, and just start that open dialogue. And you can even start it out with, hey guys, I think that I've done a lot of self reflection. I've done a lot of work on me. I think I'm ready to put myself back out there. How do you feel about your mom getting out there and maybe trying out some dating? And
I like that.
asking their opinion, bringing them into the conversation, making them part of it. Because quite frankly, if you do, or when you do find your person, you're going to eventually want to introduce them, and they're going to be part of their life. So if you ask their opinion first, and now I did have a younger daughter that was like, no mom, no. And I'd say, well, tell me why you say no. Oh, well, I don't want some stranger just coming. Listen guys, I'm not dating to bring somebody into the house. I'm dating to have fun and to have joy and to experience things. Trust me, nobody's just going to be walking in their underwear through the house soon. So it's all good. So I reassured them, and they felt better about it. So I think that's my advice. Just open that dialogue, ask their opinion, but start out in a healthy way by saying, look, I really worked on me. I think I'm ready to put myself back out there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't have kids, but I've dated many people who have and many friends who have. And I think, it's really good for children to make sure that they know that, as a parent, it's just as important for you as it is for anybody to have connections and do things for yourself. And I think it's actually setting a really good example, especially if you frame it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
and then what is go ahead.
I have one other thing. We don't talk in the past. Most people don't talk to their young teens and young adults about working on yourself before you get into a relationship. And maybe you can start the conversation that way, saying that you learned a very valuable lesson. Good. Okay, good. So that's good to know. I think that that's good advice, though. If someone is out there thinking they're going to start dating and they've done a lot of work on themselves, helping our young children understand that being happy and healthy within yourself first is the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super
You
proud
had another
of
question?
mom that I am, and I have two amazing children. I'm going to take some credit for that.
That's great.
Yeah, you deserve to get out there.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
If that's
So
what you
did you
want.
have another question?
I do. So,
Okay.
being that I have been labeled as the matchmaker my whole life, I'm curious about the difference in success between online dating, which scares the heck out of me because I live in a small town. And not everybody knows everybody, but it's still really small versus connecting with somebody who is a professional matchmaker.
Okay. There's a lot of drama. I hate the word drama, but there's a lot of BS. There's a lot of fucking bullshit when it comes to online dating. I'm going to be frank.
There's 50
Not
shades of
everybody
it.
is worth dating. There's 50 shades of it. Okay. That's why we even have this podcast, is because there's so much shades of bullshit out there with online dating. If you're willing to go outside the perimeter of your town into another town to online date, that's great. But I will say, finding a matchmaker that really can fine tune that and narrow it down, and maybe get rid of some of the ones who just want to have sex, or the ones who pretend to want a relationship to get sex. It might eliminate some of that and some of the heartache with that. Personally, if someone can afford a matchmaker, 100%, I say go for it. What do you think, Janice?
Yeah, so I don't know the stats, and that's a great question, which I'm going to look into. I will say I also, I actually prefer to date people who are out of town, so I might suggest that as a strategy. You absolutely don't have to do online dating, but yeah, you might want to think about, looking in the next town over. And then as far as working with a matchmaker goes, I think that it could work. I would just strongly urge you to get referrals and to do your research. It's actually a more saturated industry and market than you would think. So if you can find the right one, Christina and I know several, it could work, and it's worth the shot. But I would just make sure you do your homework.
And we may know matchmakers in your area because we're part of a large dating industry group, and we know matchmakers from literally all over the world. So if maybe, I don't know, maybe you're set on living where you're living, maybe there's someone in your town that you just haven't met that they have, or someone from a town over, or even for people that say are thinking about moving to another town, maybe they get a matchmaker in the city that they want to move to see if maybe they can find someone, like that.
How small of an area are we talking, Jen?
I'm not sure how you want me to answer that. I live in Michigan.
Your town, like how many people?
Oh, well, that's really hard to say too, because the town is actually really small, but then the rest of the demographics is much larger, and they call us the Little Aspen because we're growing very fast as a vacation town. So if you know Grand Rapids in Michigan, we're growing at the rate of Grand Rapids, but we're still minuscule in size compared to Grand Rapids.
And you're afraid that you are going to run into someone on the app that you're going to see at the store, or that you go to church with or something?
I'm not afraid of that. I just think the people that are in town, that are local, that are on the dating apps have told me it's the same men. And so I'm not looking for a hunter. I'm not opposed to that, but it's not something I want to do personally. Although I love to eat fish and meat. So there is a lot of that in Northern Michigan on the dating sites.
Well, I will tell you this, even if you're a woman who's not into the hunting, that's fine. But I will say a hunter kind of guy is super hot.
I wouldn't go for it, but again, I just want to point out it's about your mindset. So just might want to work on that just a little.
Well, you can't take away from where a person's been and the things that they would like to see different. I just want to be nice on how I say that.
I get it. Well, we can't wait to hear what happens. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. You guys are so much fun.
Yeah. I love you. I think you are awesome. I'm super excited that you could join us today. I appreciate that a lot. And hopefully we've helped answer some of your questions to kind of make you feel
You
less
did.
anxious about it. You know what? I just go into it in a positive way and say, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to be told I'm beautiful. I'm going to feel sexy. You know, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have
fun.
these cool people to hang out with. Go in it with positive feeling that you're just going to enjoy it. And men on dates really see a difference when a woman is enjoying life and the situation.
Oh, for sure.
If you're too
I
nervous
can
or
understand that.
too worried about it, it makes a big difference. So, you know, just go have fun and try to enjoy it as much as you can. And then if you have any other questions, you are more than welcome to send Janice and I a message, and we will help you in any way we can.
All right.
So, and I'm so sorry today, guys, if the connection was awful. It was kind of bad on my end. So hopefully it wasn't as horrible for all of you. Janice, thank you again for being here with me.
Can I give a plug
really
for our
appreciate
clubhouse
you.
room?
Oh, what's that?
Our clubhouse room is every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's under the Intentional Dating Club. So anyone listening who's curious, please come over and join us. We do that there every week as well. Or we do this there every week.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun.
And I can tell you, as a single person, that room has helped me be able to get more comfortable talking to people.
That's great. I love that. That's great. So once again, on Clubhouse on Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific. Is that right?
Yep.
And what's the name of the club again? I always forget.
Intentional Dating Club.
Cool. So join us there. Also come back every week and see us here. We try to cover a wide variety of topics, as long as it's dating, finding yourself, self-improvement, things like that. Come back next week. We might be doing some sexy talk next week.
Kink 101, baby.
I know. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for coming and watching us. Same time, same place next week. And until then, keep it real.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.